Tuesday, December 9th. This is our first full day in Beijing. We wanted to start with the main museum since that had proven so fruitful in prior cities. We got various tips on how to get there. The problem is, it's on Tiananmen Square, which is the most well-guarded place I've ever seen, and it is huge. We got out of the car, which took us there, with instructions to go to one corner and talk to the guard. Phone translator in hand, we proceeded to the corner. Maybe it was the wrong corner, maybe it was the wrong guard, whatever, it didn't work. We got stares and officers arguing with each other and pointing in different directions. We walked on and found a different corner. Slowly, we were encouraged to go forward. Everybody was polite, but nobody was particularly helpful. Or nobody wanted to take responsibility for sending us out into the center of Tiananmen Square, which may have been more accurate. We turned the corner on a building and saw a huge line, and I'm talking maybe 1,000 people. This can't be it, but it was. It was just the first line, which led to a gate, which led to another line, etc., etc. It had nothing to do with our nationality. Of the 1,000 people in line, 99.9% were Chinese. There were movable metal fences placed around rather haphazardly, diagonally across the square. But we didn't see the pattern until we'd made some mistakes and finally got to where we were going. Another line. There were about 4 tented security zones with metal detectors and lots of guards. There were 2 long lines feeding each tent. We were wanded at least 5 times through security. While waiting in line, we could watch the young soldiers marching in tight formations, goose-stepping back and forth across the large Tiananmen Square. Up ahead, over the Forbidden City entrance, was a huge photo of Mao Zedong. Nothing subtle here. It took us about 2 hours to get into the museum and another hour to collapse in comfortable chairs in their new cafe, have a drink, some milk tea, some candy, some pastry, and look out the window at the thousands of people still waiting in line. Once in, it was a wonderful, very new museum. Exhibits were still being put up. The text for the exhibits all emphasized what a great country this is, what lucky people live there, and what great accomplishments the Chinese have provided the world throughout history, etc., etc. Nothing subtle, but there is much truth to it. I was impressed by the thousands of years of accomplishments in science, math, art, poetry, clothing, fashion, etc. We worked our way through about half the exhibits, or less. It really is a 3-day project. But remember where to find the cafe. I had been wanting to take the bullet train for 4 hours to Xi'an to see the terracotta soldiers. Something I really still would like to do someday. But Ron was adamant in trying to talk me out of it, and he won. I capitulated when I saw replicas and photos of them in the museum. There was a lot to see. We were glad to return to our happy home at the Orchid Hotel by the end of the day. A nice dinner waiting for us with our favorite chef.